All new tonight at 11, the clock is ticking for more than 1 million New York households, which are at risk of having their electric and gas turned off. And it's all because of a ballooning debt problem. 2 on your sides, Rob Hackford joins me now with more on this billion-dollar buildup. Rob?
Yeah, Mary Alice, $1.7 billion, and that's just what's owed for electric and gas, according to the Public Utility Law Project. They're an advocate group for low and fixed income New Yorkers that is trying to get the state to cover, if not all, but most of the debt, so the people most impacted by the pandemic aren't dealt another blow.
The debt crisis in New York for utility consumers is at a level that we've never seen before.
Richard Berkeley is the executive director of the Public Utility Law Project, which found that 27% more gas and electric customers now owe their provider than before the pandemic. If you lost a job or were struggling, families were protected from having their heat and power shut off for much of the past 2 years. But in the coming months, payment is coming due, and
consumers don't have any real likelihood of being able to pay it off. We haven't fully recovered from COVID. Like the Great Recession, it's going to take 10 years for the low and moderate income households to see any economic recovery.
Recovery that is happening slowly, but Berkeley says not nearly fast enough. Based on the data compiled from the State Public Service Commission, there has been some reduction over the past 2 months. And keep in mind, 1 million of these accounts were in debt before the pandemic. Berkeley argues the full picture, however, is likely worse.
We're estimating somewhere between 1 and 2 billion water, but we don't have reported numbers for that, and then probably another 3 billion for telephone and internet.
Those providers aren't required to report what's owed to them by the state. For the ones that do, in western New York, NYSEG had 19% more customers in arrears, National Grid 18%, National Fuel 27%, and RG&E 11%. The Public Utility Law Project is now pitching state lawmakers to use American Rescue Plan money to pay off those individuals' debts.
And we said, look, we're asking for 9% of it. And 9% of that money is $1.25 billion, and that is enough to wipe out all the arrears that have accrued on energy consumers' bills that they were unable to pay during the last 24 and a half months.
Well, Berkeley says while this funding isn't a guarantee, one thing customers should do is call their electric or gas provider and ask about setting up a repayment plan. He says Governor Hochul has so far offered $500 million to pay off these debts, enough to cover about half of what's built up during the pandemic, including some of those payments that predate COVID. In the studio, Rob Hackford, Channel 2 News.